Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of DETAUX Designers Talk UX. So, Walt Disney once said, "We keep moving forward, opening new doors, doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." Welcome to another episode of Crack. Today, we have Aditya with us, whose quest for Eureka led him to crack his interview at Preimage. Stay tuned to know how. Hello, Aditya. Welcome to Detox. How are you doing today?
Hey Atul, I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing great as well. So it was great to know about your story and that how you cracked the interview at Preimage, right? Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So there are so many people coming in, and we're taking an understanding of how they have cracked their interviews at different companies. So it's very interesting to know that you were working at Samsung, and then you were working at Amazon, and then you were working at an academy, but then you chose to join Preimage, like a startup, right? So we would love to know how and what made you make that decision.
So initially, what happened? I did not know much about Preimage since it's a startup only. So they approached me because they had a requirement for UX UI designer, and as I talked, I as I had an initial talk with them, so I got to know what is the product and and how is that application going to happen over the next course of years, and how much potential that idea has. So when I explored more about it, that's where I thought, "Ki, let's give it a try." So initially, I started at Preimage as a intern after cracking interview, and then I joined their bigger team and vision.
Can you elaborate
We
a little more about the company, like what it does and how did it
Sure.
make the pitch to you?
So Preimage is a SaaS software company, so which is into photogrammetry applications. So idea of that product is square kilometer of cross section land area, and you are a construction company. So what you will do? So
Hmm.
and you have a challenge to understand the terrains of the land situations at different point in that cross sectional area. So what you will do with that? So what Preimage does? So it takes image of that cross section of land, like with the special sRGB cameras. After we put those images into the software, it generates the 3D elevation of 3D model of that cross section of land, and classified into different kinds of output, which is useful to the construction company. And furthermore, the use cases range from AR VR application to game applications, and so much further on.
Aditya, do you want to walk us through how was your interview process at Preimage, and how did you find it interesting, or how did you crack it?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, so as I got reached out from LinkedIn, so I had this first round was an initial walkthrough of my profile, that what I am doing, what I have been doing, about my past experiences, what I have been doing at Amazon and Unacademy. And based on that, I was shortlisted, seeing a few of my projects. Initial screening of my projects was based on the mobile application that I built, because at that point of time I had those applications, but in a way, but I had those projects in a little well documented manner, which helped me to crack that first round of interview. Then
Hmm.
second round came up to be a little more technical round. So coming from a computer science background helped me a lot, because they wanted someone who has working knowledge of things, so that even if I'm designing, so I can understand some terminologies in the development easily, so that they don't have to, since the team is very small. The team is 25 people strong. So working in those teams, it becomes important that you know things which are not like which uh, knowing things which are in design domain, you also know something which is required, but it is not in your job forte.
Hmm.
So that was something which was challenging and interesting at the same time. So my prior knowledge of my computer science engineering helped me get into like clear those things.
Hmm.
So the questions, since Preimage is working on the 3D photogrammetry applications, so questions were almost in those domains that, so it came from like my 3D knowledge, so like whatever knowledge I had with 3D applications. So I started by telling them that yeah, I have worked with Google SketchUp. So I started using Google SketchUp when I was in 11. I didn't know that that would be so much beneficial where, like, in this interview. So after that, I cleared the second round and then I got onboarded. So even though I did not had many rounds, I did not had many rounds in that interview, but the challenge for me was to understand the product, which doesn't exist in a proper structure. That was the main challenge that I had. So initial 1 month I was understanding the whole product that how that product is working, what are the
Hmm.
requirements. So the team was very good. They helped me in understanding those chunks of products in a sequential manner. So I started by understanding what is the first thing required, and then so I started by building dialog boxes where the project images are uploaded. So I gave that just dialog box pretty long 1 month to understand, because for me that was just one dialog box or flow, but it
Hmm.
actually was so many things just other than that. So slowly, I jumped on. I finished one module, then I went to other module, and then finished those designs of other modules. Now I'll coming to what is expected from a design interview. What I thought, what have been my experiences. So
Hmm.
talking about, so this comes from my interview experience at Microsoft. So I'll be joining Microsoft in September next month
Okay.
at Bangalore office. So this is all coming from that interview which I had given at Microsoft. So initially whatever task is given. So whenever a shortlisting happens based on the portfolio, a task is given. So it becomes very important to understand what is the task that is being given, what is the flow, or what is the pain point that they are trying to to tackle with that thing. So
Hmm.
that becomes more important.
Hmm.
So once that is understood very nicely, I think like half of the work is done there only. Second thing comes to whiteboarding. So whiteboarding directly triggers our first principle thinking, like how do we think let's say a problem statement is given to us. So how well we are trying well we can ideate on so many types of possibilities in that space. And same and when I talked about this elderly thing, the same, so with that comes the accessibility part. So whenever a solution is whenever a solution is being asked, whatever question is being asked in interview, I have experienced personally in all my interviews that people always try to try to build more inclusive products where accessibility becomes very important thing. And at the last but not the least, thinking whatever we are thinking should be practical, should not be hypothetical, because
Hmm.
no one is going to build hypothetical project. Yes, new initiatives are always there. People will always talk about new initiatives and they will work on it, but only till the point where it is practical.
Hmm.
It should not be just a piece of art, but it should be more of a practical thing as well. Last but the least, like talking about what people can do extra things to
Hmm.
make sure that they are up to date, they are constantly improving, growing. So
Hmm.
first thing is very well known, like people this is something people will get to hear from almost every person that yeah, make self-initiated projects, but it's very unnecessary to understand, like even though we are making self-initiated projects, what is that we are actually trying to explore. So
Hmm.
that should not be in a very mainstream thing. Yeah, uh, keep. I wanted to make a music player. Build a new interface of music player and so many good things. Like it looks stunning, but eventually it's the same idea which anyone else is doing. Like, and to understand these things, what are the self-initiated projects can come from, where these projects can come from. It's important to keep a check on technology forecast and awareness around it, that what companies are trying to build in next 5 years, next 10 years,
Right.
and making things around that. At least you are ahead of people, you are at least ahead in thinking, compared to people who are just making generic projects and following generic frameworks, because it opens our mind and helps in like widening our boundaries.
So, Aditya, what about your interview experience at Amazon?
So uh, talking a little about my design interview at Amazon, it was mostly around managerial thing. While I had knowledge of visual design and motion, they more
Hmm.
focused on was like how you can manage design requests, because at that role I managed I communicated with people who are 5 or 6 levels above than me. So by default that complex comes into place, that you are so much junior, so how you will deal with those people. So the interview was also around that. Yes, I know you, because there was 3 round of interview in Amazon. First round was based on pen and paper based test on Adobe After Effects, Photoshop, and basic design knowledge. Then after
Hmm.
clearing that round, the second round was machine test on After Effects and
Oh.
a visual design round. So I was given pretty one hour of time to make a 10 seconds of motion design animation. So that was the challenge I was given. So I created one animation of 10 seconds. So and then I got cleared that second round. And third round was the most critical round, because third round happened in two phases. One was technical, third round, and the second half of the technical the second half of the third round was managerial round. So technical round, I was pretty much confident that I will clear that, which happened in the same way. But in the managerial round, I felt that whether I'll be clearing that or not, because questions were directly total uh, total uh, totally based on how you will deal with people while being into the design team. Because after I got into design team, I was mostly managing North India, Northeast India, customer service India business for design requests, whichever generated from different sites. So questions were mostly on how you will streamline design requests. Let's say 10 different requests has been come, so how you will manage those 10 requests, and how you will deal with upper managers, and things like that. So that was about interview at design role at Amazon.
Was self-initiated projects that you did at NID helped in that whole process of interview as well?
Yeah, definitely it really helped, uh, like I'll take you to my experience, interview experience at Microsoft. So when they came, they like, I did not like, if I show you my portfolio, you'll not actually find a single project which has a inclined mobile design, mobile interface design, because I wanted it to be like that. I did not wanted it to be like a traditional mobile UI design. So I just
Right.
gave it a try, that let's see what can happen, let's see what happens to it. But surprisingly it helped me, because I because that thinking outside the traditional way gave me an extra edge, that yeah, I can do something extra also. I can think
Hmm.
of different kinds of interfaces also, like mix of tangible or tangible intangible phygital
Hmm.
interfaces, and hybrid interfaces is something which is eventually which is eventually going to come in future, because uh,
Hmm.
eventually we'll get rid of these screens.
Right.
So now that we are talking about AR and VR and so many kinds of realities, XR, VR, AR, VR, XR, MR, so maybe some more realities will follow. So if more realities are yet to come, so more interfaces will also come.
Perfect, Aditya. It was brilliant talking to you and your topsy-turvy experience at NID as well as Amazon, Microsoft, Preimage, Unacademy, and everything else that was around it. Lovely talking to you. We hope we have more such conversations with you at Cracked. And anything in the end, would you like to add something to our viewers?
People are skeptical about trying new things.
Hmm.
Uh, that 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 is something people should avoid. Like
Hmm.
actually trying new things is something which will give you a new thing to work on. If you're not trying new things, I see life will keep going on even if we don't try new things,
True.
because it has so much of ends, and
Hmm.
someone will reach on some end which will be
Hmm.
better.
Right.
But if we are trying something new, we are trying to make some change, make some effect, make some
Hmm.
impact, then why not? Because not everyone thinks in that direction, but
Correct.
whoever thinks in that direction, it's all good.
True. I thought it was brilliant. I think I hope people listen to you and they are open to try new things, design new interfaces, work on new projects, come up with their own ideas which no one has ever designed, and that's what that's what brings in more innovation. Thank you so much
Sure,
for being here. I hope we connect for more conversations like this, and we'll see you in the next cracked session.
sure. Thanks, Atul.
Thanks.
Thanks. It was
Take care.
lovely talking to you.
Lovely talking to you. So, guys, that was it for today. We hope you liked the cracked story. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section down below. If you like to see more videos, please consider subscribing. Bye bye and take care.